Welcome to the Beyond the Burst podcast, your weekly deep dive into
the gear that shapes the sounds.
We're your hosts,
Dave Lozon
and Sean Finkler from Lozon Music in Canada. Each week, we'll be looking at the most exciting guitars, pedals, amps, and studio gear that crosses our path. Plus, real talk about the music industry and the stories behind the gear. Whether you're a bedroom shredder, touring pro, or gear nerd, just like us, you're in the right place. Let's talk about your guitar journey. So a lot of people start playing guitar. They get the Epiphone SG, or maybe they get J Tercer or Yamaha Pacifica, or
and some people just they don't ever leave that.
They stay there. But you know, I heard someone on Instagram the other day, and she had this Epiphone SG. No, it was Epiphone Les Paul, and she was just shredding. Like an unreasonable level. And it reminded me that, you can still play on a guitar like that.
Sure.
But it's not going to be as enjoyable an experience top to bottom as getting something really nice. So I think eventually most guitar players get to a point where they start exploring what else is out there.
Sure. Even for whatever reason, you want a better instrument, but sometimes it's you want a nicer instrument. You want the whole experience. You want to look at it. You want to hold it. You want to bask in the glory of something that's a little more special.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And I think most guitar players eventually get there at some point. Some people live in the mid-range their whole life, and that's fine too. It's like whatever floats your boat. But eventually I think most people get to a point where they want to really explore what's out there and, all the options, the highest end gear, the coolest stuff, maybe ordering a custom guitar. So that's what we're going to talk about today, that journey into your first high-end guitar.
Right. So when we're talking high-end, we're talking custom shop and up sort of level stuff.
Yes.
We're not talking about Gibson. Gibson USA makes some expensive
nice
guitars,
yeah.
and they're not cheap.
No.
Same with Fender, regular American stuff. Like $4,000 is nothing for a guitar. We're not just saying it that.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is the next bracket up.
Yeah, I guess we should really set the parameters here that we are talking about. Kind of the top tier of what any company has to offer.
Yeah.
And obviously not saying that, USA Fender or Gibson isn't a good guitar. It is. But there are levels above that, and there's reasons that you do pay more for those guitars, and we'll go over that with each company that we deal with specifically. So let's start with Gibson. Gibson Custom Shop. What's the customer, what's the guitar player going to Gibson Custom Shop for? And what is it that Gibson offers? Why
are you arriving at a custom shop?
Yeah.
Sure. I think if you've been playing Les Pauls for a while, or you have current production stuff, if you've ever played a custom shop, then there's something different. Right from the feel of the whole thing, the finish in particular,
Right.
You think you can feel it's just a different thing. It's a different league. Right. So when you play a custom shop, they're different wood. It's going to be a lot lighter.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a historic thing. You want like a 59 reissue, but even if it's not, it's just a quality of the instrument. When you think about the great Les Pauls that are being made now are the custom shop ones.
For
That's
sure.
it. Right.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about lightweight. I don't want to break my back. I don't want the finish to be, 12 inches thick. I want one-piece body, that type of thing.
So the construction method is different too.
Right.
Like having a long neck tenon. So the neck tenon, if you don't know, is when the neck meets the body, there's a certain amount of wood that kind of forms into the body. It's a joint that forms into the body. And that neck joint on a Gibson USA guitar is going to be short. On a custom shop guitar, that neck joint is going to go all the way to the front pickup, to your neck pickup.
Yeah, underneath it.
Yeah, and that gives you more, the body and the neck are more connected, and they end up being more resonant. They're more tied together. There's more wood there.
Yeah. And
so that's something that's obviously more expensive to do and only reserved for the Gibson Custom Shop.
I think once you play it, Like there's really not a comparison. Like you're like, oh yeah, well that's what this is about. Like it's not. It's pretty stark the difference.
And I think too, for some people, maybe they, as a player, maybe you want to get your first custom guitar. They have the made to measure program.
Yeah.
So you could, in theory, have a top picked out, which we do for people all the time.
We do.
You could spec the guitar top to bottom. Pick the finish. Pick things like lightweight
pickups,
lightweight wood, custom bucker pickups, or whatever there's a limit on what they'll put in a Gibson Les Paul.
Yeah, they're not too into using other manufacturers' pickups at this time. They have been in the past, but that's generally, you could totally get a whole custom thing, or maybe you want just like a 58 reissue, plain type. You want the most entry level custom shop or whatever it is, but they're still like they're a noticeable notch above.
Yeah, absolutely. You're getting something special, and again, this is the best that Gibson has to offer. So whether you're a rock guy or a blues guy or country or whatever it is, I think that a Les Paul is a guitar that a lot of people end up with. That's kind of a road people go down, and maybe if you started in the Epiphone camp and you started with an Epiphone Les Paul, this was eventually the goal. This is where you wanted to get to. So I think Gibson Custom Shop is probably making the best stuff they ever have right now.
Yeah, it is. It's true. They're excellent guitars.
Let's move on to another big custom shop, Fender Custom Shop.
Right.
One of our biggest brands here for sure, and that's continuing to grow. Why do you think it is that someone goes to Fender Custom Shop, or what do you think the value added is with getting a Fender Custom Shop guitar?
It's again, there's kind of a undeniable like difference in the guitars. Like again, like a Ultra Strat or whatever is a good guitar,
right?
But the Custom Shop, again, it feels to me like there's less paint on these things or something. The finish is more.
When we do them, they are.
Yeah, that's true.
As a relic.
But more alive sounding. Yeah. The whole guitar is more just a resonant. It's kind of, again, it's a stark difference, and you really want to. I think a lot of this stuff is also chasing like what it used to be like.
Right.
Do you want a guitar that was like the guitars in the 60s, like somewhat close to that?
Right.
Then that's what these are. And they're probably, made very much in similar way to the way they were made. I know they're CNC cut stuff now, but there's still a stark difference. And it's almost like the new American stuff, the regular manufacturing is kind of, slid underneath that way that they used to maybe do things,
for sure.
To make things a little more affordable for people, to keep it affordable.
Right. I don't know with inflation what a Strat would be today versus what it was in the 50s or the 60s, but I'm sure the number's out there. But I don't think it aligns. I don't think it aligns with a USA Fender. I'm sure it's more expensive than that.
Absolutely.
So that's where you get into the custom shop stuff. One thing I think, one of the reasons at least that people arrive there is maybe they've been playing Fenders their whole life and they love a Strat, they love a Tele, but there's something they wanted to tweak about it. I always wish it had these pickups. It was always a little too heavy. I prefer these frets. Now I've played long enough. I want this neck profile. So these are things that you can do at the Fender Custom Shop. Maybe you want to look and feel vintage until you get a relic guitar. So these are, again, things that aren't really offered at Fender USA. Right. And that's why people come to the custom shop.
Sure. And you can really dial it in with Fender, too. It's like they have so many options that you can dig into, from the radius, fret sizes, anything. Yeah. You can, like, really tweak this out to be a very, like, very, unique piece for yourself.
Yeah, or if hey, listen, I like a 62 Strat. I know I've always liked that spec.
Yeah.
But I want the best 62 Strat. I want something, maybe I had a Fender version of it or Japanese or whatever it is. I knew I liked the specs of that, but I want the best version of that possible. I want a satin finish neck. I want hand wound pickups.
Right.
So maybe it's just the evolution of that guitar that you love already, but it never was quite there. So you want it to be even better.
It's like your 1994 custom shop Strat idea?
Oh, yeah. Hey, don't give too much away. We should still do that. So that's what you can get at the Fender Custom Shop. You can also get something totally custom. I mean, they're one of the few custom shops that will really work with you. Maybe it's an art guitar.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's some evolution of one of the models they do, something beyond anything they've ever done.
Sure. If you go all the way up to master built, they'll go pretty far for you.
They will go pretty far. Yeah. So again, these are some of the reasons I think someone may end up at Fender custom shops.
Sure.
And that's kind of a natural evolution of playing Fender style guitars. In this vein, a very small builder, Castadosa guitars. These are all pretty special.
Sure. I was gonna say, like, now after we're out of Gibson and Fender land, you know, a lot of these other guys are only that. They don't have a.
That's true.
They don't have another option. They don't have a lower priced option. They don't have.
Well, we're not totally out of it yet, so maybe I ordered this wrong.
No. But so yeah, well, Castadosa, Carlos was a Fender master builder, right? So he's taken a lot of his ideas, and they're Fender inspired designs for sure.
Right.
But this is one guy making the whole thing start to finish, right? It's very small quantities.
Yeah.
Very special guitars. So maybe you want some of that. You want a piece of like it's individual builder, very ground floor, very few of these will ever exist, really,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, he's not trying to make a million guitars.
No.
I think we're at number 400 and something, low 400s. And he's been operating for 5 years-ish,
I think
give or
since
take.
2021 or something like that.
Yeah, so almost 5 years. And I think players come to Castadosa for something in a Fender vein because he was a former Fender master builder, but he does something. He has his own formula for building, and there's a uniqueness to those guitars.
It really is.
You're not going to get the shredder neck on that guitar, right?
Not unless you like a really big neck to shred on.
Right. So they have, I think, 2 different profiles. There's not a lot of options as far as neck profiles go. And they are, like I would say, on the medium to larger side of things.
Yeah.
But the pickups that he uses, and I've noticed this consistently throughout all the stuff he does, like the articulation, the bell-like clarity, the attack.
Yeah.
There is something very special. So I think, and some players who are really in that Fender camp are going to want to explore this as a potential option.
Yeah, and what I've noticed just from dealing with our customers is that when someone likes a Castadosa, like they love it.
Yes.
Yeah, like usually like people go like kind of wild. Like it's like, okay, I got one now. I can't think about anything but getting
Right.
more of these. It's
Right.
definitely like either if you love it, you really love it.
Yeah, because you're getting a special one-off piece. Now, this is, you could say the same of a Fender master built guitar, but there's a lot more master built instruments made by Fender as a totality.
Sure. Yeah.
Carlos Lopez, this is small. Castadosa is as small as it gets. He is making you a piece of playable art.
Yes.
So,
but it's different because just a sidetrack here. This is a small builder, but we're not talking about, there's another kind of thing that people can sometimes go into, which is like a individual like luthier, like you've never heard of, or that maybe has like builds a few guitars and they're very expensive. It's different. Castadosa is still a brand. It's not like it feels like that to me anyway, right? Like it feels
is very much a brand.
A brand. It's not like some one-off weird guitar, because that's a kind of can be a dangerous path too.
Well, I see what you're saying. You're talking about the really small luthier built guitars.
Yeah, and it's like $25,000.
And maybe he makes 5 a year though.
Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah.
Carlos is, we're going to say roughly 80 to 100 builds a year. So there's still a somewhat of a streamlined process where he's able to make enough of them.
Right.
That he's not a onesie twosie kind of guy.
Right. I guess the thing is that, it's there's just more. There's more of a community around his guitars because there's a few more guitars out there than a onesie twosie kind of situation. I've seen people like spec out like custom build guitars that they think they want, from small, like a one onesie twosie guy, and they end up with something that they can never get rid of.
Right. Well, this could be your first high-end guitar, and it could be your last high-end guitar. Depending on how the path that you take. And some people do that.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that thing. whatever you like at the end of the day.
Sure, that's
what does it
yeah.
matter?
No,
But
it doesn't matter.
but as far as resale goes, yeah, something like a Castadosa is like there is some intrinsic value that is burnt into this thing forever. You will have something special.
Yeah,
And we should also talk about the baritone, as kind of on a tangent of this is why would someone maybe get to Castadosa? Maybe they want something like the world's best baritone guitar.
I certainly did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one.
Right.
Love it.
So it may not be your first high-end guitar, but it is
Yeah,
certainly
it's definitely
special.
not.
What you said earlier about, when guys get Castadosa guitars, they often want to get another one, or that's all they want to play.
Yeah.
Well, there's another company out there that's very similar.
No, are we talking Novo?
We're going to Novo next.
Again, only one level, right? They have one
That's
level
right.
of offering. It's
right.
all good. There's no like here's the cheaper version or whatever.
Right.
And let's hope that let's hope it
They
stays cool.
maintain that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a really interesting brand.
Yeah, it really is. And they're building excellent guitars.
Yeah.
Like it's on par with anything. It's as good as anything else, right?
I'd say they feel like a high-end Fender Custom Shop
Yeah.
guitar. So again, this may be someone who's in the Fender camp who ends up with a Novo, but it may be someone in the Gibson camp too, because they do the 24 3/4 inch scale.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a really light, really resonant guitar, something you're definitely not fighting, something that feels very natural, is vibey too,
Yeah.
has a bit of the vintage vibe to it with more refinement. I think can be one of the reasons, or some of the reasons people end up with Novos.
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting. That's like kind of a sweet spot, right? Where you have that there's something vintagey about it, but
Right.
it's also refined.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's a perfect blending of vintage and modern, and I don't think many companies get that right. They've stripped it down to 2 neck profiles, 2 scale lengths. Kind of like Carlos is doing too. There's a million finish options on the table, which are all good. So if you're looking for something that's going to be aesthetically appealing, you will quickly find something you love within their finish offering.
Oh, for sure. They got lots. I mean, it's crazy how much they offer. But you're right. It's like there's 2 necks. 2 necks, there's 2 scale lengths. Like
Right.
You're not going to get lost in outer space with the specs.
Right.
But there's lots of finishes to choose from.
So I think too, if you've played an offset guitar up to this point, maybe you have a Mexican or Japanese jazz master. You like the idea of playing an offset guitar, but never really liked the functionality of those offset guitars. Maybe you end up with a Cirrus J, and this is now the best offset guitar you've played. It's really functional. The bridge is really functional. Pickups are clear, dynamic. And it's got some of that similar feeling DNA to a Fender, but the refinement is certainly there. Either you know or you don't. Now, one of your favorite guitars out there,
Yeah.
a Studio Elite HD. You have an HD.
I have an HD, Studio Elite HD.
And what is it that brought you to that guitar?
Oh, man. Well, initially, Wayne Krantz playing Tyler's was what brought my attention to the brand. And then, you're looking at them and lusting after them. We started carrying them here, play them. And something different. Again, it's a different space in the mix of like soul and refinement.
Yeah.
So again, it's a different space. I feel like it's got a little more edge to it than something like a Sur, but
Right.
it's not like, it's not super vintagey. Like it's really still like you can play itself. Like you can have the action. Like my action's like
As low as you can
it's
get.
as low as it'd probably be really upsetting to a lot of people who
Right.
like I don't want any buzz on the couch when I'm playing. Well, anyway,
It's a bit of a cheat code guitar too.
a cheat code, exactly. Like I'd like to sound as good as I possibly
Right.
can. And this certainly gets me there. Probably the extra like 15%. It's like it's super, super great to play.
And they're finished too. I mean, we do so many of the satin finish guitars. It doesn't feel quite like anything else.
No.
It's sprayed satin. It's not kind of buff satin or left satin.
Right.
It's a special type of satin finish. So it has a different feel from everything.
Totally.
A real refinement. Like you said, a nice blend of vintage, modern. Probably more on the modern side, though, of things, I would say.
Yeah, definitely more on the modern side of things. I think it's, what is it, like, it's a, well, I think is it a 10 to 12 compound radius? It's funny. I don't even know the specs on my
no,
guitar.
I think you're right. It
Yeah.
is compound radius.
But it's
And I
pretty
think it's
flat.
pretty flat,
It's a
yeah.
flatter side. The electronic pickups are great, you know. Who's this guitar for? It's for, I mean, I guess a lot of the like 80s type studio session people seem to really like this guitar, but I feel like it does a lot more than that.
Well, any studio guy, maybe this is the guitar that you want to do multiple different things with, different gigs, different flexibility recording. You get a Studio Elite, you have the series parallel split switches, you've got the mid boost, you've got all this tonal palette to play with. So this could be a guitar. I mean, you've kind of got there yourself. This was it. This wasn't necessarily your first high-end guitar. It definitely wasn't, but this is where you kind of have ended up on your journey because it's a flexible guitar that's really easy and enjoyable to play.
Great to play. And the band I play in mostly is instrumental, like psychedelic, like improvisation rock thing. Right. And it's all kinds of genres. Like we're playing like dub, and we're playing like Hendrix style stuff, or we're playing like fusion-y kind of stuff. And I use this guitar for everything, and it can get it all. I don't even want to pick up other guitars for it. So it's like, it's perfect for what I'm doing, which is everything.
You got over the headstock though, because that's a sticking point for,
right.
I always liked the headstock. It never bothered me.
No.
I think it looks great, but I can understand people's hesitation with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I ever saw one, I was like put off by the headstock, but I got over it pretty quick. I love it now.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And the finishes, I mean, that's the last point to touch on. The finishes are incredible. You know, they really started the ugly guitar thing, but even in their ugliness of some of those finishes, I think they're really cool, really interesting, and I love them.
Yeah.
I don't even think of them as ugly anymore. So
me too. I don't think of them as ugly at all. So what would you get this? I think if you're kind of like, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Really, really well. And,
Yeah.
and I want it to be like a cheat code. I want to play. I want to be able to play better.
Yeah, for sure.
You're getting a James Tyler.
Another company that's also kind of a bit of a cheat code, I would say, too, Tom Anderson guitars. So we started carrying those this year.
Yeah, and we're just getting a few more. Like we've only had, I don't know, what, five or six,
half a dozen of them.
Something, but we're starting to get more. I think, to me, what like I think is the signature thing for them is the short scale, like the shorty.
Yeah.
Like anything, like a Telly style, short scale, Gibson scale. So when I say shorty, it's Gibson scale. And I never would have thought that that'd be like so appealing, but it's like super appealing to me when I play those.
So yeah, Gibson scale on a Fender guitar that works and feels great, and still gives you a Fender-y vibe, right? They're still very much in that camp.
Yeah,
minus the Bobcat that we just got.
Oh yeah, that's the Gibson style.
So these are perfect guitars. Their access to incredible figured wood too is like. It's absurd.
They seem to have that figured out, whereas some people, no names, can't find any wood.
Right. The wake surf finishes, which kind of really take use of the kind of chevron-y tops.
Yeah.
If you see a maple top that's really figured with the chevron figuring, they kind of play into that with their finishes, and it just looks very special.
Yeah. They're it's another like perfect guitar. Right, really easy to play. I like that. What do they call it? The Baby Floyd, the little Baby Floyd trem. That's cool.
Stable.
Yeah.
And let's go right into Sir guitars too, in a similar vein to Tom Anderson.
You want a T classic or a classic T?
Well, isn't that funny, eh? So Sir calls it classic T, and Tom Anderson's a T classic.
Right.
They just they couldn't share.
Yeah. I think all these guys were all like,
same time, same place.
Same time, same place, right? Yeah. I mean, Sir's become a lot bigger, right? So we're talking about James Tyler, or Anderson or Casadosa or something. They're all still very, very small guitar companies. Sur is a little more of a mainstream. We're trying to be more of a...
Trying to be. I would be interested in what the production numbers look like. I think a reason people come to Sur is because they want a perfect Strat.
Yeah.
Or a perfect Tele, or a perfect Fender style guitar. Because they certainly do that.
They do.
Some people have described them almost as clinical.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good explanation, a good kind of description of what they are. They are perfect. They're too perfect for some people. They're not vibey enough. They're not close enough to that Fender custom shop. Make you work for it a little bit kind of thing.
No, they're not making you work.
No.
But it's like, it is that like kind of sterile kind of tone almost, like
Right.
not in a bad way.
High fidelity.
High
almost,
fidelity,
yeah.
a super high fidelity.
Yeah.
It's its own place. And why would you want a Sur guitar? Again, you want a more perfect guitar.
Yeah.
Just like, with some of the vintagey kind of stuff, you're kind of pushing with intonation and stuff while you're playing, know. There's like, get this going to be a little out of tune or, but not with a Sur. That's like, it's bang on.
And their compound radius, almost all of them.
And then,
Stainless steel frets. That's a big part of Sur's
and
DNA.
the specs that they offer, you can go crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you can go very, very, very specific. They offer a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they have that custom configurator online. So you can, I think part of the appeal of doing a custom guitar, you can visualize it with Sur.
Yeah.
You can see what it's going to look like, and that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So again, maybe for someone looking for a super Strat or a super refined Tele, something perfect, that's going to be a Sur.
Yeah.
Collings guitars.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have talked about this a little closer to Gibson because they certainly do a lot of Gibson-esque guitars.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of like a Sur and a Gibson, right?
Yeah.
Almost like,
Yeah.
it's very perfect. There's
Very
like,
much.
you ever seen any kind of like anything flawed about a Collings ever?
No.
Never even the slightest. It's like,
They are perfect.
They're ridiculously good.
And I always think of the I-35 as kind of one of their staple guitars.
Sure.
The 470 JL is another one for us, at least.
Yeah, for
It's
everybody.
a unique place, I think,
Yeah.
If you want a Gretsch style guitar, that's perfect. This is the guitar. But now, Collings aren't for everyone. I can think of many times where someone will take a 335 and they'll take an I-35 into a room.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason or another, they just like the feel, the sound, the vibe of the 335.
Yeah. That happens more often than, you might think, with the Collings so perfect. But that's the thing is people don't always want a perfect guitar.
Right. It's a feel thing.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
And sometimes the clarity, the high fidelity, the perfection of a guitar, it's not for everyone. And if you're not playing perfect too, there's not as much room for errors and mistakes because not only is the good stuff coming through perfect, but the bad stuff's coming through perfect too. So you're going to hear it. There's so much articulation and clarity that I think the guy who may be into that wants a Gibson-esque guitar that's perfect or a Gretsch-esque guitar that is absolutely perfect. And that's probably the profile of that player.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave this one too late in the podcast because I want to make sure you have a little juice in you.
Yeah, I'm a little sleepy.
Hey,
I got up at 3:30 this morning.
well, I was up at 5:45, and that's my 3:30.
Yeah.
PRS guitars.
Yeah.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah. So they do offer, like low end stuff, and they offer medium range stuff, and then they were known for higher end stuff.
Now, what are we going
Primarily.
to talk about when we're talking higher end with PRS? Are we talking core, wood library, private stock?
I guess we're talking core.
Yeah.
Up, like still these are $10,000 guitars or $8,000 guitars.
A lot of them are.
Yeah. Right. Not cheap.
And so who is the PRS customer? I can think in my mind of who some of the people are that kind of came to them as their first higher end guitar. But what do you think is the kind of makeup?
People also that appreciate like the looking at the guitar as well.
Yes.
They appreciate like finish details, appreciate like again, like just the build quality, you know.
They are perfect.
You're not gonna find any orange peel around the neck
No.
joint or anything like
Yeah.
it's like it's very perfect. Now, there's no customization unless you're going to private stock.
Right.
So at the we could talk about two different things. Then you can get quite a bit of customization, but it's not quite the menu that
Fender Custom Shop
Yeah.
would have, or
Yeah.
even Gibson.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I often think of the player who ends up getting to a PRS. Maybe they had a Les Paul, maybe they had a Strat. They like both for different reasons, and maybe PRS is kind of the balance between them. Like you want something that maybe it's a bolt-on neck, like a CE24, but it's two humbuckers, but they split, but it's got the trim. So it's a 10-inch radius. It's not
Right, it's
9.5.
you mean the guy's likes Fender, likes Gibson, but wants kind of part of each world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's often the customer who ends up with PRS, or they're a John Mayer fan. And Fender's not the John Mayer company anymore. So they go, what's Johnny playing?
That's so funny though, isn't it? Like when you think about John Mayer playing, you still you're listening to whatever. So you're listening to the live trio album.
Right.
You're not thinking about a PRS guitar there. I'm sorry.
Well, you
PRS.
are now. Revisionist history. He was playing a PRS the whole
But
time.
even the Silver Sky itself, it's just it evokes a Stratocaster.
Sure.
That's what it is. It's
three
still
per side. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's many different people who end up at PRS. Maybe even some of the higher gain guys. They do offer some guitars that are kind of in that vein. I think they were very much affiliated with a certain type of music, early 2000s, mid 2000s.
like Creed
That's the kind of
or
thing.
Nickelback.
That's the kind of thing.
New metal, is that all that genre? Is that
not NEW, NU?
right?
Don't get it wrong.
Boy, that was an era, wasn't it?
That was an era.
You got your triple rectifier.
Some things happen. There was a clothing style with that era too. Sometimes you look back and go, I don't miss that.
No,
I don't miss that.
I just think of bandanas and armbands. That's kind of
yeah, that's definitely part of it. So
I miss that.
There
I
are
miss that
things
era.
that the line is invoking for Dave and I, different eras of PRS, and I don't know what the next step is for PRS or who the future customer of a PRS guitar is. The Herman Lee guitar may give us some insight to some of the direction they're going in, but PRS is, I think, often the guitar for someone who wants to kind of play in both camps.
Yeah,
and they want
sure.
a perfect guitar,
And
it's
they
gonna be perfect.
people that really like maple tops.
Sure,
You're
some
right.
of the nicest tops.
They definitely have had historically some of the nicest tops, but you can still get something like Anderson. You probably get better tops. I don't know. Some of the PRS private stock stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's talk about Powers Electric.
Yeah.
Newer brand.
Would it be your first high end guitar? Maybe you're a big Taylor guy or something
or maybe you end up at a Powers Electric because that vibrato really appeals to you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something you've always wanted on a guitar, but you didn't want a Trans Trem, or you didn't want a Floyd,
sure,
or whatever.
I feel like it's a guitar that everyone has a space for.
Yeah,
for sure. Everyone should own a Powers Electric guitar because it's a unique thing. But as your first one, I don't know that it.
Interesting,
I don't know
yeah.
that. It's interesting, but I feel like it's a guitar that everyone could own. But as far as it being I'm gonna get my first high end, is this it? I don't know. Maybe because it's new on the scene, right? So
yeah, we still don't know the full personality. I think if you're maybe making a transition from acoustic to electric, it's a fully hollow guitar.
Yeah,
and the pickups are very much high fidelity. If you're playing lots of fingerstyle stuff,
sure,
the kind of 50s stuff, a lot of the 60s stuff, you could play surf rock, you can play that Chet Atkins, Les Paul stuff. Maybe someone who's really into that camp would find a home here a little faster.
Yeah.
And the vibrato is pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, you're right. That someone that's maybe Yeah, like coming from the Gretsch background or something like that. They've got an Electromatic or so. I don't know.
Yeah. I could see someone ending up there because this is the style of music they like to play, and this is, if you haven't experienced one yet, that vibrato is really unique, really interesting.
Yeah,
it can go up and down.
Very musical.
Yeah, everything's
relative.
Yeah, relative in pitch as you're doing your bends. So that's a really cool appointment, and we'll see more from them, I'm sure, to have broader appeal.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. The last one we should talk about, we just mentioned, but Gretsch, specifically, custom shop. Now, not saying the Japanese stuff isn't high end. They're really nice guitars. But in this case, we're going to talk about the top of the top, the U.S.-made custom shop guitars.
Yeah. Great guitars. Probably the best Gretches that have ever been made are those Fender custom shop ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, better than anything from the 60s. Like,
absolutely. Like, they're braced differently. They're made differently.
Yeah. Very tough to get. Very tough to get.
Mm-hmm.
Tough for us to get. Tough for anyone to get. Like, it's
the
you
lead
don't see
times
them.
are long. Yeah.
Lead times are long. We've had stuff on order for years. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we're going to see some of it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you've had that, Electromatic, or maybe you had a Japanese one, and Gretsch's, that this is the guitar I want.
Yeah.
This is the only guitar I want to play.
Sure. You could be coming from Gibson too. You could be just like because these are really it's a really high end guitar, the Gretsch Custom Shop.
Yeah.
Like, really well made. Like, they're master built, right? Like, so
Right.
one guy's doing the whole guitar.
Much like the Fender Custom Shop, they're very small, super dialed in, and you have a lot of custom options, most of which you will not know about because it's not really advertised anywhere.
No, you can't really find out. That's like, so some of the stuff's so funny. It's like, how do you know what is possible? Like,
Yeah.
You don't.
I've been working on a quote with a customer, and he asked me, like, where do I start? I said, well, pick a model, and let's take it from there. Like, give me some idea of what you're looking for, and then we'll find out what's possible.
Yeah.
They don't know what's possible.
Yeah.
They may do it. They may not.
Yeah. You never know. That's why we always try some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some really cool Gretsch Custom Shop stuff coming.
Yeah, you can do Paisley guitars.
Yeah.
Really interesting color over Paisley.
Relic stuff.
Sparkle.
And, yeah, very cool.
So, yeah, a very exciting guitar to own. I don't know if this is going to be your first high-end guitar, but
Right.
it very well could be,
Yeah. Yeah, it could
Assuming-
be. It's a good one.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
really dynamic, very musical.
Couch guitar too, because you
Great
got some
couch
acoustic.
guitar. Yeah.
That's the thing. I have a gig tomorrow night, and my gear has been packed up since my last gig, which was like a week ago or whatever. But I still want to practice in the morning. But I didn't want to set everything up today because I'm going to take it all apart tomorrow. So I'm just
Right.
practicing with my electric guitars, not plugged into anything.
You're
on the
not
couch.
plugged in.
Nothing.
I thought you've been pretty critical of that in the past, of an unplugged electric guitar on the couch.
Well, yeah, but something like Gretsch, I have a Gretsch too. It's just enough volume, right? Enough volume to get it. But I was
Couch
just
guitar.
playing my Tyler unplugged, like
Yeah.
But I'm not going to complain about the buzz.
Sure.
That's the thing.
right. It's buzzing when it's not plugged
It's
in. Well,
buzzing when I'm on the couch bashing it.
you need two setups for that guitar. So yeah, the guy who ends up getting to a Gretsch, the guy or gal, whoever ends up getting to a Gretsch, they're going to be maybe exploring that next step. They played the Gretsch guitars. They want something semi-hollow or hollow body.
Yeah.
That's really dynamic, really responsive, and pretty interesting. And you're going to get an heirloom piece with this too.
Yeah. And I guess, just to kind of maybe wrap up overview on everything we were talking about, whatever you get one of these guitars, you're entering a new world now.
For sure.
You're entering a new world that you might not come back out of.
Right.
Because everything that we're talking about is a different level of instrument that you're going to become accustomed to.
Yeah.
You're going to need to stay accustomed to that lifestyle, which is playing these amazing guitars. So it's going to change. It changes everything. You get something like one of any of these instruments. It's really going to be life-changing in a positive way.
You're going to have something really special, and you can't complain anymore that it's the guitar that's making me sound bad. Thanks for joining us today. We hope we gave you a really good overview of all the higher-end guitars that we carry and why you may end up at one versus the other. And as always, if you like this podcast, please like and subscribe to hear more from us.